And welcome back, footy fans, to another episode of Donnie's Disposals. I am your host, Coach Donnie Hess here, back with another AFL round review. But as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing it again. I decided that I had so much fun with the guys of the Falcon Footy podcast. I thought, let's hop back on and do another show with them, aka my person who was supposed to help me this week ended up falling through, and Jesse is incredibly kind to let me hop on their podcast. So joining me again, the fellas of the Falcon, the Footy podcast, we have Clarky, Chris, and Jesse. Fellas, it is great to hop on the podcast again. So great. Cannot wait to talk footy with you guys. And for those that are listening to my show, a very cool little addition into this show. So keep an eye out as we get to talk some Aussie music.
Donnie, I feel so bad for like all the people who watch your show who are just like, they're going to be talking about football for like 90 minutes. It's going to be fantastic because this is a football podcast. It has footy in the name. No, sorry. This one's a little bit different. But look, we'll start talking about some footy. This is the Falcon A Footy podcast. I am your host, Jesse Munro, and I'm joined, as always, by the bespectacled Christopher.
That's really thrown me because we're all bespectacled.
Shit. I have put myself into a corner here. I am joined by the glassed Clarky.
Thanks, I got new glasses. I can see better than ever.
Hey! And what's another word for spectacles, glasses? What else is there?
Bifocals.
Indoor sunglasses wearing Donnie Hess.
How we doing, fellas? It's great to hop on. Like I said, I want to thank you for letting me ad-lib this one and hop on. And I know that Jesse has been so concerned, but I'm interested to hear the talk about the Hot 100, because I think it'd be fascinating. And especially considering I know some of these songs.
I'm very glad, very glad you do. We will get to that. And we'll go through our the Falcon top 50 because I like to rip off other people's concepts. This is when I ask, Donnie, do you regret being on this episode after I just gave you that very strange intro, which really just like, I tripped over. I was that meme of the guy on the bike who puts a stick in his own spokes. He's like, oh, fuck.
I don't mind. I think it'll be fun. It was an interesting round of footy. Thankfully, we were graced with a couple of better games, especially after a couple of weeks ago. And I swear there was only one good game, and that was the Saints come back in their one. But other than that, I mean, it was man, it's always fun to chat with you guys. So nope, not a problem at all.
Okay, I want to ask you about these glasses of yours because I got an eye test this week. I'm getting hard contacts.
Ooh, fun.
And they're awful.
Yeah.
They're extremely expensive, the ones I need, and they are just like putting pieces of glass in your eye.
Wait, what's a hard contact compared to a normal contact?
Well, Chris, you know a contact lens?
Yeah.
Now use context clues. Hard contact. It's like a harder contact.
Why would you want to put something hard in your eye?
So I think Jesse and I have the same eye condition where our eyes they're not. So a normal eye is curved and smooth. Some eyes there's parts where the cornea is too thin, so it bulges out. This is what they wanted to do for me as well, where they give you a hard contact lens that's contoured to the shape so the eye becomes smooth and the light refracts correctly into the back of your eye lens, and you can see better, and it helps with stigmatism. But hard contact lenses, as Jesse said, expensive as shit, fucking uncomfortable, because I had to try some on and they were like, hey, see if this helps you all that much. No, awful, hurts. Not good.
Like they put literally like numbing drops into your eye, and they're like, we'll do that while you get fitted, but you won't have them normally. I'm like, oh, okay. Are you allowed to sell these? Like,
yeah. So the hard contact lens is made out of like a material that is meant to be reusable, so they last about 1 to 2 years. Yeah, 2 to 3 years.
This whole
but
deal sounds
normal
terrible.
Contact lenses. Yeah, normal contact lenses.
We'll be able to
soft.
see better.
Yeah,
which is nice. Actually, I put them on, and like as soon as you put them on, you can see a little bit better straight away. But then you have to do a few different things. And I looked at my skin. I'm like, fuck, I've got dry skin. I've only just noticed because my eyesight's better. And Clarky, I do appreciate your very detailed breakdown of hard contacts, because I was just going to make a too much masturbation joke. So I'm glad you took the high road there.
There's still time.
Donnie's like, the fuck is happening here?
You can notice all that hair on the back of your palms or whatever.
Hey, a little bit. That's fair enough. Look, let's jump into the games, because like Donnie said, there were some decent games this weekend. Let's start off with the Doggies defeating the Giants 19-18, 82 to the Giants 6-44. Team English just dominant in the ruck, and then Norton and Darcy combined for 10 goals between them. This is a crazy performance from the Dogs against a team I had flagged for the grand final, and now I'm not even sure if they'll make the finals. Chris, give us your thoughts. How did your doggies do it?
It was a good game to watch. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was good stuff. We were
Nice. Great
Jesus.
review.
That was bad, even for you.
Get him on first
we
crack.
were just dominant out of the middle. That was the big thing. And then they fell into the same issue that a lot of teams are falling into this year is Sam Darcy is just too tall. That seems to be the only thing that stops people from playing on him well. It was probably the worst game that you've seen Sam Taylor play, but Darcy is just so tall that teams are double teaming him. And then what's happening is that because he's being double teamed, Norton's just going off at the start of games. So then they move someone back to Norton, but then Darcy gets off the chain later on. So we've seen this for the last 4 or 5 weeks, is that Norton's benefiting from Darcy getting double teamed. So he's racking up goals. He's now he's 1 goal away from second in the Coleman out of nowhere.
I'm not glad of what he's going through, but I'm very glad Jamar is not your forward line. Because you're right, it is that domino effect of everyone wants to go to Sam Darcy at the moment because they know he can kick bags. And then Norton's just slipping by. I thought Norton was having an average year.
He was.
But then I looked at the numbers, I'm like, the hell's happening?
No, he was up until Darcy came back from his knee injury. Norton, like most Bulldogs supporters were calling for Norton to be dropped to the VFL. He was playing horribly. And since, round 12, I think, that Darcy came back, since then, he's just been fucking great. And maybe he's worth the money that we're paying him now.
He's worth the money. I'd like to just diverge slightly while we're talking about the game. In the past, I've said some things about Cody Waitman, mostly that he looks a little bit like a rat fuck. I've kind of softened on Cody Waitman after seeing him do the 7 AFL kids call. It seems like a cool guy. And also he does the art, Jesse, as you know, which is really cool.
I like him. I went to his little art show. He's great. He does look like a rat fuck, but he can paint really well.
I do have a new Western Bulldogs kind of looks like a rat fuck guy, and it's Riley West.
Nah,
Guy, he's got the wrong energy. Something about him. I don't like him.
Riley West.
Bad
I
call.
don't like him.
Bad call.
He looks like a bad boy.
This is
Bad
good call,
boy
bad call now.
energy.
Bad call, Clarky. Shit call.
Oh.
Clarky, you've mentioned this kids call a few times, and I feel like you've put it out in the group chat waiting for me to bite, and I've just refused to. What is the kids call?
The kids
To
call.
me, like, I don't have kids. I'm not a kidsman. Is it kids commentating on the footy?
Yes, it is exactly that. And they usually have AFL players from AFL and W assisting them on the broadcast. So the one that I watched particularly had Cody Waitman assisting with special comments and Darcy Moore. And they have, this regular roster of rotating kids call commentators who come on and they actually do a really good job. And it's a lot more fun. Like, it's a lot of fun just to sit there and watch it and not hear the same 4 grown white men football players who are just like, they just need to, the game's gone soft.
What college did he go to? What school did he come to? Good stock there.
Yeah, I think he's from Beacon Hills Secondary. One of them, the game that I watched was the Bulldogs Richmond game, and they referred to Timmy English as Timmy Tallman, and I have exclusively called him that since then in conversation.
I will admit, doesn't sound like my thing at all. Johnny, what happened to GWS?
They literally, as much as they probably absolutely love the Sydney Derby spanking of the Swans, they kind of paid for it with all of the injuries. Toby Green decided to go hi-ya to the back of Isaac Heaney's head, got himself suspended. Good job, you freaking idiot. Jack Buckley hurt himself. So it's like, so they lose a couple of key cogs who I think honestly might have changed this game a little bit. Whether they would have changed it from the absolute drubbing it was to a decent game, that could be up for debate depending on who you ask. But the doggies were just clinical. They did everything they needed to do in the first quarter. Really, they got themselves a nice separation. And you had the kryptonite to Sam Taylor, a guy tall enough that Sam Taylor, all of the things that he could do, he couldn't, because he could body the hell out of Sam Darcy, but Sam Darcy's too long. If he doesn't body him, the length of Sam Darcy kept it to where he couldn't get out there and spoil it. So it's just everything that could go wrong for the Giants went wrong. Every ball bounce went to the doggies. Every time there was a 50-50 ball, it went to the doggies. Literally, the Giants imploded on themselves in, for some people, spectacular form. Depends on who you ask. The doggies were just too good. There's
There were
just
some
no other way
points
to
where
say
it
it.
looked like out of the GWS defense, the only person trying was Lockie Ash.
Yep.
Because Sam Taylor was so focused on trying to stop Sam Darcy and failing. Lee Collier just doesn't have enough senior footy in him, I think, to take on Norton or Darcy, even in a double team. And I think, like you said, Donnie, they kind of did it to themselves and paid for all of the sins of the derby from last
Well,
week.
the other big thing was, Jesse, you mentioned earlier that Tim English was dominant. For some reason, Briggs just let him do what he wanted. Half the time, English was just running around by himself, and he was intercepting. He was getting heaps of the ball. That's why he was so dominant, because for some reason, Briggs just left him alone.
Grundy did the same thing to him the week before. Grundy had 60. I think he had 62 headouts in that game. That one. That might have been another. No, that was the North Melbourne game. But yeah, Brody Grundy did the same thing. It's like he's such a lump. That Briggs has become such a lump of a ruckman that he doesn't get around the ground very much. So if you've got an athletic ruckman like English or a Grundy or a Luke Jackson, you can really expose him because he does not have the pace or the stamina to be able to go across the ground if you move. So it didn't shock me that English had himself a banner day against Briggs.
It's that weird thing where I feel like when teams are up against a player that they know is going to be dominant in one area of the ground, they're just like, there's no point putting effort into it, so we'll just concentrate on everything else. It's like how when teams don't tag a Nick Dacos, it's like, you guys know how stupid that is, right? Like, you need to try something. You need to try. Briggs, just try jumping off the ground. If you can't, maybe retire. I know you're a solid boy. Hey, brother, same here. That's why I'm not the ruckman for the GWS Giants, okay? Maybe give something else a go, because once English was off the chain, the Doggies midfield is that dominant that if they get first serve of the ball, they're going to win, and they're going to win by 80 points. I do want to actually touch on that real quick, Chris. What do you think about, like, it feels like every time the Dogs win, they win. Like, it is 60 plus. Or you lose. What do you reckon the goal is with that? Is it just you do beat up against the weaker teams, and this week GWS is just not on the ball? Is there something to it?
We win big, or pretty much all of our losses have all been quite small losses. That's why our percentage is so ridiculous. We have like 137% now. It's nuts. We have the second best percentage in the AFL. A lot of our losses, like we lost to Adelaide by 11 points. We lost to all the top teams that we've lost to. We've lost to them by probably under 15 or so points or 20 points. They've all been quite short losses, but all of our wins have been big. I don't know what it is. I think there's just games against some of the top teams where we just can't quite put it together enough. We've looked good in patches, whereas in those games where we've kind of beaten up on the lower teams, we've just dominated for all four quarters, basically. I don't know what it is. It's an odd kind of stat that we've got going on this season.
As an Essendon supporter, we got to play you guys twice in a few months, so that's been fun. Moving on to the team that does have a better percentage than you. The top of the table Crows defeated the Hawks 15 goals, 11-101 to the Hawks, 13 goals, 987. It was a very strange game. It looked like it was extremely windy at the ground, or there was a magnet in the ball, because in the first quarter, the Hawks kicked 5 goals. Then the Crows kicked 8 goals. Then the Hawks kicked 5 goals again. But in the end, it was Riley Thornthorpe and Rankin who pushed them through in that last quarter with what became quite a fun game to watch. Guys, is it the Crows' flag to lose this year?
Is the grand final being played at Adelaide Oval?
That's the big thing. Them beating good teams away. Like I even said, I think I said a few weeks ago that the two that I thought were my favourites for the flag were Adelaide and Geelong. Adelaide need to prove it against a really big, good team away from home.
Do we know who do they have this week? Do we know? Top of your head?
I don't know who it is this week.
Is it Brisbane?
No, it's not
No,
Brisbane.
Brisbane has Sydney.
Yeah, I don't know who they have this week, but I know next week they have Collingwood in Adelaide.
West Coast.
Well, they got West Coast this week.
They've got West Coast in West Coast.
We're not going to learn
Count
anything
this.
this week.
No.
Do they need a percentage
Brisbane
boost?
plays Sydney this week. That's because I'm interested to see when it comes to it. Will Sydney play the spoiler, or will they give the same effort that they did against Essendon?
I mean, we've spoken about the Crows a lot lately, and just like how crazy good that forward line is. It is just absolutely scary. Did we see anything new from them, or was this kind of an expected result?
I think this is their team operating extremely efficiently, right?
Yep.
Like they're executing their expected game plan, and we're just waiting for them we're honestly just waiting for finals to see how that plays out at this point. I think it's more than a lock that they're going to get that double chance. I think it's just they want that home final, right? That's what they're still
They
playing.
need that, yeah.
They also
It'll be. Sorry, I'll hop in. For me, the Crows are sitting. This was a game where I think the Crows did what they needed to do. This was a weird as hell game because the fact that conditions were absolutely perfect. Yet, as Jesse said, it was like the ball could only go one way, and it was to left of screen as you were watching it, because almost all the goals, except for like 2, were kicked to left of screen. So first and third quarters were dominated by Hawthorn. It seemed like it was the inside 50 for them the entire time. And then the second and fourth quarters, the Crows were just too good in those particular quarters with the Footy. Just, I don't know. This is a Crows team. I absolutely love what they're bringing. They have such a different forward line. It's one of the few that has multiple talls that I don't feel that they always go for the same footy. There's always seems to be one tall to the next tall to the third tall, and it always seems to work out really well. They just, as I kind of said on my podcast, I said their back line has been playing extremely well, despite really most people outside of Adelaide not really knowing who this back six are. Like they're almost, they go they're not flashy. They're not like household names. They get the job done. I agree with what Chris said. Is like, the question will be is, can they go to an MCG on grand final day and get it done? Because sometimes this Crows team has been known to stumble on the road and when they're not at the Adelaide Oval.
Do we think with the Hawks as well that it's kind of falling apart, where it felt like they were a big opportunity team earlier on, and now we know, is it Will Day out for the rest of the season with
Looks
some
like it, yeah.
bone stress?
20 bone.
And
another navicular issue.
Yeah, and was it Cal Shadir, I think, as well, got subbed from this game?
No, is Cal Shadir injured? I like Cal Shadir.
I don't know if he's injured. I think it was a supposed tactical sub, because they brought 4 talls into the game. Because it was the talk of the entire lead up to this game is that how will Adelaide handle 4 talls up forward? And it was like, well, you almost know the game plan is probably one of them is going to get subbed off at some time, because there's no way they're going to be able to get through the entire game with 4 tall forward.
Yeah, I wonder if Hawthorn can really get it back on track, because I think it feels like they're at risk of falling out. Like, they're one of those teams that are on a bit of a precipice.
They kind of become irrelevant again. Like, I've sort of forgot about them. Last year they were that, like, excitement machines. We just wanted to see what they could do. Now we've seen what they can do, and I think teams have worked them out. So I don't really rate them that highly this year. I do want to just quickly say as well how wild it is that about 18 months ago, people wanted Matthew Nix sacked. That's crazy. A bunch of the articles have come out, and people have kept receipts about it.
That's sports for you.
It does go to show, like, as it has been brought up a lot in a lot of the, like, Essendon and Facebook therapy groups I'm in, and people are bringing up, it's like, people are like, oh, we should get rid of Brad Scott. It's like, look, let him build to something, and then if he doesn't, we'll get rid of him. But it does show that a club can turn around pretty quick if the pieces fall into place, if the foundation is there. So, I mean, full credit to him. I gave Matthew Nix and the Crows a lot of shit at the start of the year. We did our kind of preview of the year. I was wrong. And they're kind of my flag pick at the moment.
They underperformed last year, and I think we all know that. Is it worth mentioning as well, Jesse, that you said that the Hawks were irrelevant, but there probably is one thing that you should be up and around, which is another bird has been flipped.
I've been saving up pictures of players giving the finger, because I do want to make my Birdie Bunch meme. It's like the Brady Bunch opening credits, but everyone giving the finger. It's going to have a fair few guineas in it, but it's going to be good stuff. I'm a big, again, you shouldn't be fined for it. You should do it. It should be encouraged.
Just for context for listeners, Jack Ginnivan was seen giving the finger to Crow supporters as they left the ground.
Yep.
And then had the cringiest interview the next day from like an Adelaide 7 reporter who asked him, oh, why did you flip the bird? Are you a sore loser? Which is the weirdest fucking journalism I've seen for a while.
Bit loaded.
They were both not great in the interview. It was poor on both sides.
Yeah, but Jack Ginnivan isn't a professional journalist. Like, he doesn't.
That's fair.
He doesn't have to be the great one in that situation.
Yeah, she led with that question and got the response that, like, he's like, oh, you think I'm going to talk? Like, it was schoolyard stuff, but his response was probably like, yeah, I'd probably feel the same way if someone asked me a loaded question.
Not all Adelaide supporters, but a lot of them, give him the finger. I don't fucking blame you. I would.
Just before we move on to the next game, very quickly, so when you do look at Adelaide's away form against like some of the top 8 teams this year, lost to Gold Coast by a point, People First Stadium, lost to Fremantle by 18 at Optus, lost to Collingwood by 10 at the MCG, lost to Hawthorn by 3 in Tasmania, and then beat the Bulldogs at Marvel by 11. So they've won away from home, but it's been against the lower sides. Against the bigger sides, they haven't
lost by much, though.
There have been close games, yeah.
Yeah. True. And we said before, like, kind of, especially like post-bye, a team can tighten up things and, you know, it can become that 2-goal kind of swing, and that wins them majority of those games you just mentioned. So, but speaking of losing, my team lost again against Donny's mighty Swans. The Swans defeated the Essendon Bombers 9-14, 68, 1 point away from greatness, to Essendon 7 goals, 12, 54 in this year's Pride game, which I always thought was Sydney and Saints. I don't know how that swapped over, but
I also thought it was Sydney. As
it is. Almost always, it's always been Sydney Saints, but I don't know why, but that's just the way it turned out. I don't know if the scheduling, I don't know, but yep. The Pride game, which is always so much fun on the socials, trying to wade through all the misogynistic and all the crap that you have to deal with and that type of stuff. So
yeah, there was some pretty fucked up comments I saw, but I did actually see a lot of people celebrating it, which was great. And I want to shout out Sydney's Guernsey was top notch. They do really, really good Pride game Guernseys. But our friend Polly was kind of going off about this new one. I checked it out. I'm like, yeah, I get that one's very cool. But as for the game itself, Brodie Grundy is pretty good at football, this guy. He had 39 touches and 32 hitouts. He's a fucking ruckman. How did the ruckman get 39 touches is beyond me. But look,
well, he wasn't playing against the ruckman.
He was playing against Todd Goldstein, the memory of a ruckman. The memory of a thought of a wisp of ruckman.
I think if someone touches him, they absorb him like Ember restored. Like
Clarky, don't be talking about Grundy too much. You guys let him go for nothing, okay? Let's just calm down. Show Todd Goldstein the respect our grandfather deserves.
Yeah. He should let go.
Yeah, that was a situation. The whole Grundy gone thing. I get what they were trying to do. It was just never going to work because both of them are much better when they're 80% ruck. 20% sitting on the bench, because neither of them are great forward. Like let's just be purely honest on that. It was I wished it would have worked. I think for a lot of people they wished it would have worked, but it from the first probably couple of games it was like, this is just not going to work. So you basically have two very expensive ruckmen. So I don't know. But
Melbourne took the higher end and made Brodie Grundy and the Swans very happy and got absolutely nothing in return.
You got some bad karma in return, apparently.
Bag of chips, I guess.
Before we get into the Swans, I do want to say the one good thing I'm taking this. Actually, I'm taking two good things out of this as an Essendon supporter, because I watched this game. I was going to a gig, like myself some music, which we'll get to soon, and so I was doing some pre-drinks. And I knocked back like 3 gin and tonics watching this game, which did help. Losing by only 14 points feels like a massive win in my eyes, which is really depressing. But the other thing I really like to see was win another debutant. I believe it's our record-breaking debutant, like our 15th of the year, Jaden Nguyen. I also believe he's the first Vietnamese footballer. He had his debut. He locked down Tom Papley in it was such a fun showcase between these two, because they were both getting into each other. And Tom Papley is somebody you can definitely stir up, and he has a bit of a temper on him, that one we've seen before. But there's a part where like Nguyen just like gives him a bit of a tap after he misses the goal. Tom gives it back to him and he doesn't go down. Like, he doesn't play it up. He's like, okay, fair enough. And they just go about it. It was a good two little rat fucks going at it against each other. Like, they had very, very similar attitudes, and I want to see Jaden Nguyen play every game for the rest of the year. I really loved his attitude. Also, he kept him to, well, Tom Papley kicked 1 goal for the game, and that was when I can't remember who was, some other player was playing on him. Nguyen kept him goalless. It was fantastic. It was as good a debut as you could ask from him. So I was really, really happy about that. But
did you see Nguyen also did the Allen Iverson step over him?
I was going to say, if he doesn't, I'm going to eventually talk about it. He did the step. Good. He did the step over, and you could tell Papley was like, really?
You go do me like that.
They were literally taking the piss out of each other that entire game. I actually loved that fight between the two of them.
It was good fun.
I thought Jerry, he held his own. The youngster from Essendon held his own. I thought he played fantastic. It was a fun contest. I think even the announcers were literally pissing themselves laughing watching the two get after each other.
It was the most entertaining part of the game, to be fair. But like, Donny, your Swans, they can't make finals anymore. Like, they can't at all, can they?
Nope. Mathematically, when the loss to GWS mathematically made it impossible, because they had to have won all 5 games, including the GWS one last week. just to get to the point just to get to a certain point threshold, and then they would have needed help, and them losing
Would have been
basically mathematically they're completely eliminated. So there's only 9 teams fighting for the 8 spots now, which kind of takes a little bit of the intrigue out of it. I was hoping the Sydney be there, but the Giants team was just way too good last week. But no, to go off of it, Jesse, as a Swans fan, there was a little bit of intensity out of that game. You could tell the Swans kind of were going a little bit more through the motions, as I kind of told Jesse off mic. I think they have a 4th and the 5th gear. I think they kind of got to 3rd and kind of stayed there. They maintained enough of a lead. Essendon pushed several times, and I think definitely made some Swans fans a little bit more nervous than they probably wanted to. Field conditions didn't help either. I know that they had the one like 10-minute downpour where it was absolutely pissing rain, and you could tell like the people are looking through the marks like a sailor trying to look along the horizon. But the center wicket was atrocious. I can't tell you how many times guys went down sliding through that. It was a game of football. Was it the greatest game of football? Absolutely not. As I call it, it was bowling shoe ugly. I mean, it was just not a fun one to watch. The defenders kind of had a little bit more help because with the slippery ground and in the wet conditions, it made it a little bit easier. Like I said, the new and Papley battle was probably the most intriguing part of the entire game. And then the announcers absolutely barracking for Brodie Grundy to get a 40th touch and not getting that opportunity because he couldn't grab one out of the ruck for a 40th disposal. But Grundy's been fantastic. I know a lot of people are starting to trumpet him for All Australian. My problem is that you look at his first probably 8 weeks of the season, and that kind of ends that argument, in my opinion, because he was rubbish the first probably 6 weeks of the season. He really has kind of come in over his last probably 10 weeks. So, which, I mean, it'd be awesome to see him get that nod, but unfortunately, I think his first few weeks are going to hurt him a little bit. Plus, Max Gawn has a really good shot at it, even though I think Tristan Xeri's suspension, I think, is the reason Tristan Xeri's not the starting ruckman personally. So
that's why I've got Grundy down, because Sherry's missing 3 games now, and he has had a few down games earlier in the season. Gawn has been, when he's great, he's Max Gawn, he's great. But he hasn't had a few games where he's kind of dropped down. I feel like Grundy's sort of done it in blocks. He got all of his bad games out in a row, and now he's getting some absolutely incredible, like some of the best rucking performances I've seen in years in a row. Whereas Grundy sort of had like 4 really good games, then 1 game, then 3 really good games, and 1 game. It's sort of broken up. So I mean, look, personally, I have Grundy locked and loaded. I'm actually surprised how much discussion there is. But then again, I know sweet fuck all about football, so I'm just going on the vibes, and Brodie Grundy has better vibes at the moment.
I mean, if you don't mind, let me kidnap it just for a second. Clarky, as the Demon supporter that you are, has Max Gawn, in your opinion, done enough to be the All-Australian ruckman, or does Brodie Grundy have a shout a little bit because of this 10-week block?
I think if we're talking specifically All-Australian, the thing that sets Grundy and Gawn apart, they're both amazing ruckmen, but I think the gap between their variance is a lot greater. Grundy's like average performances are a lot more forgettable than
they're bad.
Gawn's like got a good baseline where it kind of goes like there's variants, like he was brilliant against West Coast, but that's against, you know, what was it, Matt Flynn, Arthur Reed and Bailey Williams sometimes, I guess. But then Grundy's, you know, had a couple weeks now where he's knocking out 30s. I think as long as it's one of them, either of those two, I think it's the correct decision. Tristan Xeri, I think Tristan Xeri is really good. I don't know if he's been as outstanding as, like, for me personally, I don't know if he's been as outstanding as everybody seems to be really hyped on him, but because I think Grundy overall, given his performance in the last 6+ weeks, has just been building into one of the most spectacular back end of the seasons. As much as I love Max Gawn, and I think Max Gawn is probably one of the greatest ruckmans of this past, 10 years, it's pretty clearly this year I think Grundy's to lose based on the second half of the season, whereas Melbourne aren't doing well. Gawn's kind of trying to hold it together, but his average games are just average.
Chris is just shaking. He's like, bring up Tim English. Bring up Tim English.
No, I think it's good.
Bring up Todd Goldstein.
I think it's Grundy.
Tim English's biggest problem is that he's had more disapparent games. That's the problem. Like I think if you look at him 2 years ago, Tim English was talked about as being the next big ruckman in the competition, and this year really, he hasn't fired a shot in several games that I think he probably should have. And then he has absolutely belter games. And then he has games where it's like, he's good, but he's not like standoutish. Like he's been very serviceable this year. I mean, maybe it's just me again. I'm looking at it from a wider lens, maybe a little bit with Tim English than I do with Grundy, where Grundy, I'm very on him because the first 6 weeks he was rubbish. Let's just be purely honest. He got absolutely towed up in the first round against Lloyd Meek, and Lloyd Meek is a decent ruckman, but Lloyd Meek is not on the level that Brody Grundy has been. So I guess for me, I downgrade Brody a little bit more in those first few weeks because he had been really good he was really good last year for the most part, for most of the season. He just wasn't having the spectacular performances. So I don't know. I mean, again, Chris, I'll go to you kind of like I did with Clarkey. Like what's been Tim English's issue this year? Has it just been he's been overshadowed by Darcy's emergence, Bont and Libba and the spectacular midfield that he has?
He actually is having a really good year. He's having a really under the radar good year. I don't think he's been as good as Grundy and Gawn though. I think that English is probably in a team sense, I think he's probably been a bit better this year at just being a ruckman rather than going all around the ground and getting a heap of disposals. And that's probably a little bit to his detriment at times because he doesn't stand out as much. But I definitely think it's probably Grundy's to lose. One quick little stat, which is insane to help the Max Gawn argument, contested possession leaders this year for the whole season. Philip Sarong, 283. Tom Green, 282. Max Gawn, 270. He's third for contested possessions. He's above Patrick Cripps and Matt Rowell.
Look, I think we can all argue about who the Australian ruckman is, but I think we can all agree on one thing, which is the ruckman who has fallen off the furthest and the quickest is Tom de Koning.
Yep.
Yeah, look, that's a different discussion for a different
Don't
day.
tell St. Kilda. Don't tell St. Kilda.
Speaking of falling off, the Pies lost again. How good? Collingwood was defeated by the Brisbane Lions, 10 goals 5-65 to the Lions, 14 goals 8-92. The third Magpies loss in a month. Very, very fun stuff. Look, I want to talk about Collingwood, but I was going to say one quick thing about Brisbane, because it is weird that we're like, I mean, me personally, I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, get Collingwood. And then I realized I'm cheering for the reigning premier, like, to beat a team. What's with that? Even the Brisbane social media account, like, retweeted sort of the score and said, "You're welcome, Australia." I'm like, I get what you're going for, but weird. I want to mention one player, Logan Morris, Macca's Morris. We spoke about him earlier in this year, like, after he did his whole, like, he ate a bunch of McDonald's and had to play footy. It's fantastic. A really, really fun story, and sometimes you hear stories like that and you think, okay, this player's great, but that will be kind of the cool moment we hear about him. The fact that he was so on the fringe that he was the emergency. Like, we're not going to see him play that many games. This will be the cool story, and that's it. No, he's going to be one of the dominant forwards in the game. He kicked another 6-goal bag. Fascinated me, and I just didn't expect it. So if you look at his first 38 career games, you compare it with some of the other forwards in the league, he is only behind one, and that's Sam Darcy. Sam Darcy in his first 38 career games kicked 70 goals. Logan Morris has 64. He's only 6 goals behind that. And then the next best is Darcy Fogarty with 46. So those two are sort of in rarefied air at the moment. And I wouldn't have picked it. So good work, Brisbane. You don't have to bring Joe Danaher out of retirement. You've got a Logan Morris. I'm sure Logan Morris has a television.
There was a tweet that I saw, it was either today or yesterday, that I think kind of sums up Logan Morris. So someone said, "What is Logan Morris? He's undersized, not great 1-versus-1, not a contested mark player, just kind of keeps ending up on the end of stuff. Not suggesting he isn't very good, just can't quite get a handle on what he is." Sums him up.
It's very much he made a deal with the devil at the crossroads. Like, there has to be something supernatural to him, because I agree, he's so unassuming. You look at him, he's like, he doesn't have the bulk to push players out. He doesn't have the reach of a Sam Darcy to step over people and get the ball. He just kicks goals, and a lot of them. And it's like, what other forward are people like defending? Like, why aren't you putting more effort into him? There is no Joe Danaher there. They got Sam Day in to be the next Joe Danaher.
Eric Hipwood.
Yeah, exactly. No one good. So I don't know what's happening there, but good on him. I'm a big fan of him. But I do want to talk a little bit about the Pies. Like I said, third loss in a month. Their only win was against West Coast last week, which Mulligan, whatever. Should they be a little bit worried? I know they're starting to manage loads, and there's some very, very funny headlines about that. But I feel like There's managing loads and then spilling the beans. Now I've seen they spilt their beans here to mix metaphors.
I would just like to say, I'd like to bring this up once again, that this is the third loss in a month ever since a certain podcast co-host mentioned that they were going to be the Sydney this year, and they were going to go on a drop-off towards the end of the season. Don't know who that was.
Chris is the Logan Morris of Falcon, the Footy podcast. Loves Maccas, and you wouldn't think much of him, but fucking hell, there's some brilliance there.
You only notice him when he kicks his 6 goals.
And he plays for Brisbane.
I don't know what to make of Collingwood. I feel like they have a habit of just going into cruise control, right? Like, and are they letting their foot off the gas too much? Is that what are they not
They're at
taking
risk
it
of missing the
seriously?
top 4 now.
I honestly don't
they're not,
think.
though.
I don't think they'll get a home final. I don't think they'll get top 2 because they've got Hawthorn this Thursday night, which is a huge game, and then Adelaide in Adelaide the week after.
It shows
And
how
then
much
they
their
play
form has
Melbourne.
dropped when Hawthorn versus Collingwood could go either way.
Yeah.
They're not beating out. They're not.
Collingwood will win that game. Will Day's out with the navicular, and for some weird reason, Will Day just absolutely takes the kryptonite into that Hawthorn team. I think Collingwood win this week. I'll say this. I think I get the resting of players, and I know Geelong is notorious for doing this at resting players strategically throughout the season to be able to be sure that they're cherry ripe for the season. But honestly, I think Fly has been tinkering too much. I think he's been resting too much. I think you're starting to kind of see that fruit being bared to this group, that the continuity of this entire group still is thrown off. I mean, he tosses Jordan Ngoe into this game. I think it was the worst possible game to put Ngoe in, because this is a jam-packed midfield that is very, very good. And Ngoe didn't fire a shot for the most part in this game. And this is the one time where Nick Dacos wasn't the most exciting young player on the field as well. This is a Brisbane team that we kept hearing 2 years ago. They can't win at the MCG. They can't win at the MCG. They can't win at the MCG. Well, now they're starting to win at the MCG. And if I'm Collingwood, I agree with.
They do it once and they think they're so big.
Yes, I don't know, but they've won 5 of their last 6 at the MCG, so they're starting to get it figured out. But I agree with Chris. Right now, I don't like Collingwood's run home, because going to the Adelaide Oval's not easy. The Crows are up and about. You lose another one, you fall out of that top 2. You got to go on the road to most likely either Brisbane or Adelaide for that first final, and that's not a good thing, because the Pies army is one of the things that really does help the Pies over a lot in home games, is that they have that fan support. So if they got to start on the road, and I know they're the most supported team, whatever. It's mostly because they have the most people. They have the most people getting tickets when it comes to it. I don't think it's going to be the raucous Collingwood crowd on the road this year at Brisbane or Adelaide, if that ends up happening. I think they'll win this game against Hawthorn, just because, like I said, Will Day is a huge shot he's done for the year, and really this team has looked very vulnerable when Will Day is not playing. The Adelaide one, I don't like their chances. I think Adelaide is absolutely humming, and I don't think Collingwood's defense can handle the 3 talls, especially if the crowd is up and about and they get going like they did this week against Hawthorn. So I'm with you guys. Like, I'm a little concerned for the Pies. I know that they'll try to play it off. They'll try to act everything's fine. But if I'm Fly McRae, I'm concerned a little bit, because right now your road looks like you could be on the road to start the qualifying final, and that's not a good combination for a team that I think really feeds off the home field advantage.
I did see a meme that said, like, it's mathematically possible that Collingwood miss the top 8. Now, I'm not a religious man, but if any sort of god or goddesses are listening or watching this podcast, like and subscribe. I will build a church in your honor if you make it happen, because it would be the funniest fucking thing to ever happen. I know it won't, but just seeing them start to wobble. And we did talk about, a few weeks ago, one of the geniuses here, said McRae is losing his aura, his riz is gone. And I agree with you, Donnie. He's tinkering with the team too much. I think they're almost panicking. They just thought it was kind of just happening for Collingwood, it seemed like. Like, they had a bunch of I was going to say elderly players, that's a bit disrespectful. Old fucks in their team who were playing way better than they should have. Like, at the start of the year, you wouldn't have picked, like, Steel Side Bottom to be in such, like, almost career best form for the first half of the year. You wouldn't expect that. That was a nice bonus. And those sort of performances was lifting the team above, I think, even they thought they would be at. And now that things are starting to level out, I think there's a bit of panic setting in. It's like, well, how do we move these pieces to make that secret sauce again? Like, how do we get that back? And I just don't think it's there. Good, very fun to see. Now, all right, that's enough football. Let's talk about music. Let's
Good,
move
I'm
on
sick
to
of it.
this.
I'm sick of it.
I'm sick of football. Essendon's lost too many games. We're gonna move on, guys. A few weeks ago, or maybe a week ago, but look, depends on when you listen to this. Could be years ago. A Australian radio station, Triple J, had their hottest 100. They did the hottest 100 of Australian musics. People around the country and around the world got to vote online for their top 10 songs from Australian artists. Now it was all compiled into a big playlist, and it was played on the radio. It was a really fun day. It was one of those like few days on social media where everyone seemed kind of positive and was having a bit of fun with it. Everyone's tweeting along. Everyone's saying should have been higher because everyone's favorite song should have been higher. A few songs missed out. That is what it is. But it was really good. It's really, really wholesome. I'm a massive fan of the Hottest 100. I don't think in the States there's anything really like that. Would that be safe to say?
Nothing specifically. I know that sometimes at the end of the year they do the 100 best songs of the year type of stuff, but it doesn't have the grandeur that I saw. Like I was telling the fellas off mic, I said, I swear every third account that I follow is Australian, and almost everybody was talking about this. Somebody had some kind of tweet about it. So I know for the most part what it is, for the most part people's opinions. But yeah, there really isn't anything like that over here, at least not that gets like everybody talking.
It was one of those things, like obviously our commercial radio, we have like a lot of like American stuff and a lot of like stuff in the UK, like a lot of international music. And it does sometimes bury a lot of the Australian artists. I think something like this, the celebration of Australian music, really got people thinking about like, shit, we have some really, really cool bands here. So it did get me thinking though. While the Hottest 100 was fine, sure, if you're into that sort of thing, there wasn't enough footy related songs. I'm not going to say there weren't any, because there were a few, but there wasn't enough. So I decided to steal their idea, and I decided we're going to have the Falcon Hottest 50 of footy songs. So I put out a Google form for people to vote. I put together a list of 50 songs. So this is more for a ranking. We didn't vote for which songs would make the top 50. This is more for a ranking system. And people voted. And thank you so much to everyone who supported this and retweeted and got excited about it and gave me suggestions and yelled at me for missing out certain songs. And those who voted. This has been a really fun one. And I've seen the list, and it is a very, very fun list. I was hoping to get Cassie involved with this, because I know Cassie's a massive fan of this. Her and I were just messaging each other about like different artists, like when's Missy Higgins going to be in there? Should have been higher. I know she would really want to be on this episode, but I have done my best. So, it's almost like a Cassie AI, I've decided. Just because she has a really, really good like presenting voice, it does sound like this is like so professionally done. But we have some little stingers. How bloody good's that? I've been busy today. Let's go through. We're going to go from 50, work our way up to the number 1. We also take a few little breaks for some commentary, and we'll discuss songs as we go. I'll be starting with 50 and also shouting out with how many votes they got. Let's start at 50. Also, just a little caveat as well. Some songs did get the same amount of votes, therefore when I read them out, they'll be in alphabetical order. And because of that, When the Outer Roars by Greg Salter is at the bottom on, unfortunately, 0 votes. At 49, we have The Saints, also on 0 votes. North Melbourne, Hawks, Geelong, and Carlton, all on 0 votes as well. Shit songs, nobody gives a fuck about that.
Oh, no Carmen fans out there?
Shockingly not. We do then have the Brisbane Club song on 1 vote at 44. The next one I'm going to say surprised me, because this song won the hottest 100 of Australian music about 10 days ago. It's Never Tear Us Apart by In Excess with 3 votes. We'll get to that in a moment. Then we have Slack by Stephen Hill with 4 votes at number 42. And Clarky, this is one of your favorites, and I want to hear your rendition of it. At 41, with 4 votes, we have El Sonidito by the 3... I can't even pronounce this. Can you pronounce the name, Clarky?
We bring it up.
3 Henches Zeros Band. You may not know that from the name of what the song is. This is the song that plays when Callum Brown from GWS kicks a goal. You may know it as a song that plays when you get into a taxi in Grand Theft Auto 5. It is a very, very strange choice. Guys, what do we think? I'm going to send this 50 to 41. I'll send this into the Riverside chat. But do you have any thoughts on what we've got here.
Port Adelaide have ruined Never Tear Us Apart. That's why it's so low.
I think it's that bad. I think it's kind of fun. I know we've discussed this at length. We've discussed it. Donnie, what are your thoughts? Have you seen Port Adelaide? All the fans get out. They pull out their scarves and they sing "Never Tear Us Apart" by NXS. Are you a fan of that?
I love the visual, and it is a really cool tradition. It is something that maybe as a diehard sports fan, I love sports of all kind. My European soccer team that I keep track of, Celtic, really does the same thing. Like Liverpool, they do Never Walk Alone. So I've seen that type of tradition before. I think it's really cool. It's something different that nobody does in the AFL. So I think it's awesome. To be honest with you, I really didn't know anything about NXS until I heard about that song. Think it's cool. Is it the greatest footy song specifically? No, I just think it has footy connotation because what Port Adelaide does to it. So I kind of understand it being a little bit lower on the list because is it a actual footy song? No, it's a song that's gotten popular through footy circles because it's done by a footy team. So
Never Tear Us Apart isn't even the best NXS song. I understand its contribution to the Port Adelaide Football Club, but it's where it belongs.
To be fair, other NXS songs, I agree with that. It's not the best NXS song. But the other NXS songs have no connection to football.
Yeah.
Because no other teams have had the bravery to have their club sing it before the game.
Who's the one person who's really into the French national anthem that voted for Brisbane? Who's this person?
Logan Morris. Look, you bring that up. There is obviously, I'm not surprised by there being a lot of club songs at the bottom. I am surprised that a lot of them got no votes, especially when I know supporters of these clubs, Carlton, Geelong, Hawks, North Melbourne and Saints, voted. They just hate their own songs. Are you shocked by this group of 5 clubs that didn't get a vote?
I'm surprised that Carlton is in there.
They don't remember what it sounds like, Chris.
If I could have divided up to like the first stanza of the Carlton song, I think it would be top 15, that da-da-da-da-da. But you also you can't do it sober. You have to be like belligerently drunk. Like texting the MCG safety hotline drunk in order to really, really feel that intro of that song.
It's funny. No, for me, I look at it. It's a couple of them are some of the more well-known club songs. So for me, it's a little surprising, but like Carlton has always been one of those, again, to all the Blues supporters that watch my podcast. I love you to death, but it's probably the most mundane of all of the songs, of all of the club songs. Like I feel bad for the players when they have to sing it because it's so slow. Like they have to do it fast to make it not like last forever. So yeah, I'm a little surprised. Geelong is always one that I always kind of liked as a non-Geelong supporter. I always thought it was a cool song, but I don't know.
I just hate hearing it because it normally means they've beaten us by 150 points.
Here for El Sonadito though, giving them flowers.
Can you give us a hum? We can't play any of the music because we'll get sued.
It's the greatest in the background, and just it's pronounced hechiceros.
Cool.
3
All right.
hechiceros.
Well, let's move on to the next lot of songs. Ignore that delay. I couldn't find the button. Let's roll on from 40.
I was like, the facial expression was probably the best part too. He's like,
maybe. At number 40, we have Nasiah Wangani Malira by the Carps with 5 votes. At 39, we have Port Power's other club song, The Club Song, with 6 votes. At 38, we have the West Coast Club Song, but the Birds of Tokyo version, because I kind of found it funnier, but worse, but better. But we'll get to that in a moment with 7 votes. At 37, we have Richo by Picket Palace with 7 votes. At 36, Aki didn't do enough here. It's the Melbourne Demons Club Song with 7 votes. 35, we have the Sydney Swans Club Song with 8 votes. 34, one of my favorites, Out of Bounds by Eric Bana. Yes, the actor Eric Bana, the guy from The Hulk. He has a song about football. He has a few, actually. That one got 9 votes. 33, we've got Hey Wanaka by King Stingray with 9 votes. 32, we have Get On Board by Shirley Temple with 10 votes, also known as the KO song. And at 31, we have the Adelaide Crows Club Song with 10 votes. I'll send this one to you guys in the chat, but what are we thinking of that grouping?
I can't believe the KO song is so high up.
I was shocked by
I may have given it a vote.
It's upsetting.
Yeah.
It's upsetting.
Yeah, actually, as we go on here, if there's any songs that you particularly voted for and you want to bring attention to it, please shout them out. Because, Chris, I'm with you. I don't like that song. I actually got really mad when I looked it up, and I remembered that they've made me hate a song sung by like a 7-year-old,
An exploited 7-year-old.
and very much exploited 7-year-old. And they're just like, how are we like she's long dead, right? Like, why are we doing this to her? Why are we dicking her up for this? Like, let something that isn't said on enough AFL podcasts. Let Shirley Temple rest. Let her be. Let her spirit be.
Picket Palace have a couple of really good football songs. So Richo is a great song. I always love the music video because Richo seemed like was so super on board for it and was involved in the music video for it.
So the music video is very at like the Channel 7 like commentary desk, right? And there's like some pre-acting beforehand, and BT can't look. Great MC, but he can't act for shit. It's like jarringly bad, especially nowadays that we've seen players like your Bontempellis who have some genuine like acting chops in commercials. You know, your Petrakas, they can act. But BT, I don't even want to say stick to your day job because I don't think you're great at that, but maybe try something different. Because I watched that video earlier, Clarky, and it was bad. Speaking of bad, so the West Coast Club song, I could have got the original, or I could have got the Birds of Tokyo version. I got the Birds of Tokyo version because the comments were really angry about it. They really don't like it. Donnie, did you manage to listen to this one or see the film clip, which is more of a tourism commercial than anything else?
I've heard it. I've listened to it before, and it was almost like the West Coast was trying to catch up with Fremantle because Fremantle was more of a new aged one. So I don't know. Like I'm 50-50 on it. I didn't mind the original, but I didn't think the Birds of Tokyo song was that bad. I thought it was actually kind of a cool little upgrade to it, a little off to the off Broadway type of version of it. So I didn't have any problem with it.
I mean, it's one of those things where you don't hear it often because they suck. The comments, almost every second comment underneath the video is, "This is the thing that cursed us. This is what began it." Because apparently, like, people have broken down their win-loss ratio after the song was re-released by Birds of Tokyo, and it's not good. I'm not a superstitious person, but that has me believing in curses a little bit.
I mean, doesn't it coincide with that horrific playlist decision making as well?
Which was made at the same time as Birds of Tokyo made that song. And I like Birds of Tokyo. I have no complaints about them. They're a fine band. But they shouldn't have let that band do their list management, which is all I can assume has happened there. I also wanted to draw attention, like, have we all heard Out of Bounds by Eric Bana?
No.
I have not heard it at all.
Until you put this list together.
Okay, Clarky, you've heard it now. What are your thoughts on Eric Bana, Hollywood actor Eric Bana, singing Out of Bounds?
Were you surprised the fact that he had that Out of Bounds?
Not surprised. I mean,
because he was a comedian before he was.
He was a comedian, yes. Not surprised, more delighted. There's like an innocent delight to it. So, I mean, Donnie and Chris, you guys know Eric Bana, the actor?
Yes.
The Hulk,
Yes.
and he also played somebody else, Chopper Reed.
And he was in the castle.
And he was in the castle, and he was in Funny People as a St. Kilda supporter. Because I guess he wasn't acting in that. But he sings a song called Out of Bounds, and it has such delightful, like, late 90s Australian energy to it. Just a real loose unit, but like a friendly, like, kind of larrikin vibe to it. It's a good time. I highly recommend it.
It's the AFL equivalent of, is it the 13th Man?
Yes, yeah, the cricket stuff, yeah.
It's, you know what? I think it's high enough on the list.
Good enough. Before we do move into 30 and onwards, I do want to give some honorable mentions. There is one song that I have been sent so many times and had borderline death threats about, which, you know what? Fair enough. I didn't put on this list. Footy by the band Spiderbait. I apologize. It should have been on the list. People said it would have been number one. I don't think it would have been. But look, I apologize for not being there. And there's also nothing specifically by Paul Kelly. There should have been at least one. That's my mistake. It's very hard to come up with 50 songs. Chris, Clarky, are there any songs that you think we missed out in the top 50?
Look, I think we got the list as good as we could for 50 songs. The only one that came to mind was Caden McDonald. Melbourne fan and content creator. He made a Cozzy Pickett rap to the tune of Black Beetle, if you know that. Go check that out on YouTube. I think it's quite good. The main hook is Cozzy Pickett is a real crowd pleaser, and it gets better from there. So
I'd hope so, because that was just a singular line. I thought it was going to rhyme with something, to be honest.
Well, Jesse, copyright.
Copyright. Cut that. I will also say there's a lot of we did include some after goal songs. We have a few coming up. There was probably one that was missed out, and we do have a few comments about it, which we'll get to soon. Hey Baby by DJ, is it Otzel or Otzi or whatever it is?
Otzi, yeah.
That's a banger. That is a fun one. And as soon as it was said to me, I was like, oh yeah, because when I hear that song, I do think about football now. Little miss out on that one, but now it is time for Hey Riverside. Normally when I press the button, it plays automatically, and you've just decided mid recording just to fuck me. So you're getting no votes here, but some songs did get some votes. At number 30, we have the Gold Coast Suns song at 12 with 12 votes. At 29, we have Gimme That Thing by Frankie Davidson. It is stuck in my head ever since I wrote that down at 12 votes. 28, Air to Beat the Bear by the Brisbane Bears, one of the greatest club songs ever written with 13 votes. 27, the Essendon Club song with 15 votes. At 26, The Children Came Back by Briggs with 16 votes. 25, the aptly named Footy Footy by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, or the Giz, if you will, with 19 votes. 24, we have the Western Bulldogs Club song with 20. Number 23, we have Lost Control by Grinspoon. Jack, thank you for the recommendation of that one, with 24 votes. 22, we have good old Collingwood Forever, with 27 votes. At 21, we have Friday Night Footy, aka the KFC ad song by, holy shit, Shannon Knoll sings that. It's Shannon Knoll and DZ Death Rays. We'll get to that in a minute, guys. That is your 30 to 21. I'll send it through to you in the chat. But what are your thoughts?
I don't even know.
Donnie, how's this landing for you? Because Friday Night Footy is so specific to Australian advertising,
You wouldn't get the ads, would you?
And on top of that, Shannon Knoll.
I do.
Okay. So you do get the ad. So you would.
Oh yeah,
you've heard the KFC ad.
The KFC ad is, I get it probably every fourth or fifth ad, but most of the time you have to watch the entire, like almost the live feed, or because the way I watch it is through Watch AFL. So for those out of Australia that have no idea, is that I get my Watch AFL app through my Swans International membership, and it is basically an app that it's kind of like KO, but it's a little more specific because it's only the footy, and it's basically attached to Fox Footy. So I get shows like Bounce, The Couch.
I'm so
60.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the Bounce theme song doesn't make the list, I think.
There's stuff I put on just to entertain myself sometimes, especially when it comes to it. But no, when I watch like the live broadcast of the Swans games, or the Friday night or Thursday night footy when I get up, then we get the ads. Like I know oh my God, I'm trying. The one time I need to think of all of the ads that I hear all the time. Amy Klangus commercials. I get those. Macca's, which is, I think is hilarious now that I call McDonald's Macca's all the time up here now. it's just because I hear it all the time. Harvey Norman, like all of the different commercials that you get down there, I get them. The KFC commercials, yeah, the Friday night footy ones, I probably hear that at least 5 times a game at least. So yeah, so I know all about it.
How can we explain to you Shannon Knoll? Okay, so. Did you ever watch, like, I guess in your case, American Idol? Were you aware of American Idol back in the day? I don't know. Is that still around, American Idol?
It was never one of my favorite. It's never one of my favorite shows because I honestly feel like the winner never was actually that good. It was just who was popular.
Okay, agreed. And you're going to enjoy this story now. So when Australian Idol first aired, I think it was like, this is like 2002?
And this was the first season as well.
The halcyon years of reality television in Australia. We had a fella named Guy Sebastian. He won. He had a little afro, and he sung very religious songs. And then he started doing other reality shows. And then he was in Wuhan eating a bat just before COVID. And one of the strangest stories I've ever seen. But anyway, that's a different story for a different podcast for a different day. The person who came second was Shannon Knoll. Shannon Knoll is the definition of country bumpkin, but in a kind of loving way, but also in a kind of like, I wouldn't go too close to you at a pub sort of way. Mm-hmm. For added context, I used to live near a pub. Shannon Knoll performed there. The night he did, I made sure all the doors were locked. Just because I just don't know what he's capable of. He had a very prominent goatee. He never really reached the heights that we all wanted him to, just because it was kind of funny. But now he's doing ads for KFC. I also did once see him at Crown Casino, and he was very drunk, and he just went up to, we all passed him, Knowlesy, and he went, "G'day, boys." So he's a bit of a loose unit. That's
like
Shannon
it.
Knoll in a nutshell. But yes, he sung the Friday Night Footy song. I have been told by people it could be called Fried Night Footy. I don't know. Shannon Knoll isn't known for his enunciation, so I will leave that one to him. But are there any other songs in that list that you're surprised are that high, or they should be higher?
I'm surprised that Lost Control isn't higher. It's a great song.
Same here.
So
I think it's
AFL 2004?
Yeah. I think it's because not enough people register it as a football song.
Mm.
If this is a purely just a hottest 50, yeah, it's top 5 for me. I absolutely, Grinspoon, sick. Donnie, if you haven't heard Grinspoon before, highly recommend them. The other song here I wish was a bit higher is Dare to Beat the Bear. Because that is fun. I would love if Lions just brought it back as their theme song. It has like big country Australia energy. Again, pub energy. A lot of these songs have pub energy because they're footy songs. So I wish that one was a little bit higher.
I'm surprised the Bulldogs Club song is so high.
The red, white, and blue part is fun. The rest, I can't remember it. Sons of the West, isn't it?
Bulldogs Bite and Bulldogs Roar. No, they don't.
No,
in
they
the same
don't.
way that Premiership isn't pronounced like that, Essendon.
Well, what the fuck? We don't need a fucking drive-by here. We're talking about the doggies being shit.
I may have voted the Bulldogs as my first option.
Chris,
Good to see Briggs on this list as well. Briggs is absolutely
matter.
like Australian hip hop
Yeah,
royalty.
like that performance they did. He did at Dreamtime this year was sick. Like that was really, really good. So yeah, I'm glad. That came in at number 26. I also thought maybe "Give Me That Thing" would be lower because it's very
Can you
catchy. It's
explain that to
very
me?
annoying.
Can I get a Cribs note on what that is? Because it's also stuck in my head and I don't know
Give me
why
that
it's
thing.
been...
Give me that. Give me that.
Yeah,
I
why?
think it's from like a
What-
Telstra ad or something like that. It's again another song from an ad. It sounds like it's sung by a frog who's on like helium. I can't remember exactly where it's from, but it's from a football ad, and it's stuck in my brain.
Capitalism
Now
is
it's stuck in
really
yours.
killing us.
Yeah, I love that. All right, let's move on to the next lot of songs. Thanks, Cassie.
Thanks, guys.
I'm getting better with these pressing a simple button, aren't I? Thanks, everyone.
You're doing good. You're doing great work.
Thanks, guys. Okay, now first up we have "Freed from Desire" by Garlad, number 20, with 31 votes. At 19, we have "Country Roads" by John Denver with 31 votes. At 18, the Richmond Club song with 32 votes. At 17, we have the Fox Footy theme, but the Tom from the Footy with Broden version, because he did a remix of it, with 37 votes. At 16, we have "Mr. Brightside" by The Killers. 15, "Nosebleed Section" by Hilltop Hoods, with 39 votes. At 14, "It's the Draw" by the Barrackville Singers, with 41 votes. 13, we got "TNT" by AC/DC, with 42 votes. Number 12, we have "Go Freo" by Tame Impala, with 42 votes. And it's a Freo double, because at 11, we have the Fremantle Club song with 45 votes. What do we think of our 20 to 11?
Why is the Freo song so high?
Because it's great.
It's pretty good.
Genuinely do not understand why the song gets so much hate. I understand why people hate how the club sings it, because they speed run it. They don't need to. I don't think it's a bad song. I think it's catchy.
Yeah, Damo on multiple occasions has tried to explain it to me that they sing it like that because they hate it. And I said, well, just get a new song then. He's like, oh, well, they tried to, and then everyone votes against it. So it doesn't sound like everybody hates it. So
I agree.
it's
It seems like
great.
when they're singing, it's like, oh, you know, I don't like it. I don't think it's very cool. But it's like, no, you love it. Everyone does. It is daggy, and therefore it's cool. It is looped back around. It is back in fashion.
I'd actually like to point out it's actually a 3 in a row Freo thing because they play TNT after they play their club song at the game when they win.
That's a very, very good point. The trio.
The Freo showing out.
I'm a bit surprised that Country Roads isn't higher.
Great song though.
And it's like I only associate it with the football now.
Oh,
Well done,
that
Charlie
will fall
Cameron.
out if
It's Country Roads has to be one of my favorite songs of all time. Just John Denver in general is just happy vibes. And it's kind of grown on me having Charlie sing it, unless they're playing Melbourne, in which case I get angry.
Clarky, can you explain one of the songs to me? Because it is linked to Melbourne, and I know there's a lot of stories about like Melbourne, the doggies arguing about the song, and I'm just like, I don't give a fuck.
Oh,
Free
Chris
from
is-
Desire.
Chris-
What's that?
It's
about?
linked to Mel.
It's linked to Melbourne. Melbourne broke a premiership drought in 2021. Chris, you might remember that.
I remember the premiership drought that was broken in 2016. Thank you very much. Sorry, Donnie.
Yeah, they just...
This is like an evil circle.
When was your premiership
Fine, trust-
drought broken?
2005, and technically I wasn't even watching. Technically, I wasn't even watching them full time at that time. The 2012 one was the first grand final that I kind of slowly started barracking for Sydney on that because I had fully hopped into it. But now, if you ask most people around my circle of friends, 2016 still has an asterisk because there's probably several non-calls there that probably should have been. But like I said, I told a lot of people at the time I was happy for the Dog East fans because they had broken a streak that was just as long, it was pretty close to what the Swans had in 2005. So I know the free from desire thing. Like here, how about a neutral explain it to you?
Ooh,
here we
Jesse?
go.
Is basic
a sane person.
Basic. I'm not going to say sane because footy fans will never make anybody sane when it comes to it. Basically, that if I believe correctly, the Western Bulldogs had been using free from desire for the longest time after wins and everything like that. Well, Melbourne, to kind of take the piss out of the Western Bulldogs after the win, did the free from desire during their celebration. And let's just safe to say some of the doggies found out about it and got their undies in a little bit of a twist. Again, completely understand it because it was something they had been associated with. Again, it was kind of a giant piss take when it comes to it. And it ruffled a lot of feathers in the Western Bulldogs camp. And again, I understand it because they had been doing it all year and it could be taken that way. So that's kind of, it was never really associated with Melbourne. It was just kind of everybody remembers that they were taking the piss out of the Western Bulldogs after beating them in the grand final is when they did it. And some people were like trying to associate it. And it just technically.
Allegedly.
Well, okay, Clarky and Chris, which club owns the song? Because I'm just put out there.
Nobody
Why
owns
this song? It's not that good.
It was, I believe
It's all right.
that we started doing it because a different sporting club around the world was doing it at some point. So I'm pretty sure
Whoa!
I think it became our thing during lockdown, where we started doing it during lockdown.
Yeah, I
Hold
believe
up.
so.
Okay, this is
Something like that.
controversial to me for two reasons. You sell from another club, and Clarky, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't one of Chris's biggest criticisms of Never Tear Us Apart being played before games because Port was sold from other clubs?
No,
Around the
hang
world?
on,
I think
the record will show that.
hang on.
Interesting.
Hang on.
Chris, I can edit out whatever you say here and make you sound wrong.
My criticism,
I have that
my
power.
criticism of Never Tear Us Apart, for one, wasn't because they've stolen it from other clubs. It's because it has no fucking meaning to the club at all.
Never tear them apart. It's in the
Two,
name.
Freed from Desire
What do you want?
doesn't fall under that because the Dogs were doing that behind closed doors. They were doing it as a team thing in the change rooms after every game, where the players would all just dance to Freed from Desire after they'd had a big win. It wasn't something
That
they were
sounds-
doing with the fans.
That
makes it
sounds like a
sound
thing
so
that any
lame.
team could do. Any team could do
Any
that.
team could do
Some
that.
teams could even do it in the middle of the MCG with the Premiership Cup after beating the Western Bulldogs. I would
it was
say
Optus.
It was because it was during
Whichever.
lockdown.
Whoa,
So.
fake fan.
You haven't won a flag
Yeah,
at the
fake
MCG,
fan.
Clarky. Calm down.
That's true.
Unlike us.
Doesn't
That's
count.
true.
You did win a
Except for-
premiership, but
except for
that
all the
is one that was won at Optus Stadium, which I still the
Asterisk.
stories of
So
the
the-
stories
so
of
the VFL
people
ones count?
Victorians finding a way into WA through the lockdown was kind of hilarious at times. So
So to move, It's a Draw by the Barrackville Singers was my pick for number one.
Smooth,
It's a
Clarky.
great song.
You know which game wasn't a draw though? Yeah, look, It's a Draw. It's a song I never heard before we put this list
So
together.
good.
But after I've listened to a few times, it's very fun. I'm a
It's so
big fan of
good.
that.
They should play it, but not announce that they're going to play it. Like this is like they need to just the next draw. It needs to just start playing.
That would be
No,
good. Because draws are boring as hell. Like, and I don't think I've ever been. I've never been to a drawn game, but I can't imagine how flat the atmosphere must be at the game. That came on, and everyone's like, "Ah, it is what it is." That's pretty cool. I do like to see some kind of genuinely good songs in the list. So, Mr. Brightside. I'll always associate that now with Jack Rewalt for better or for worse. Nosebleed section, Hilltop Hoods. I mean, that did very well in the Hottest 100 as well. Friend of the show, Tom from the Footy with Broden, his remix of the Fox Footy theme is very, very good. And if you go back and listen to the episodes of the Footy with Broden, and you listen to the episode around that, it's fucking hilarious how it's made. So I highly recommend go back to check that out. I also want to admit something here. Number 13, TNT by AC/DC. I really don't like AC/DC.
I agree.
Clarky, this is why we're friends, buddy. Our mutual hatred of AC/DC.
It feels like a band that people seem sure. What do you mean you don't like AC/DC? I'm like, it's fine. It's just whatever. Like it's not for me. Like it wasn't my era. It's not There's better music for me now.
Oh yeah, no, I would actively say it's bad music. Chris, you look a little bit angry at us saying that. What are your thoughts on TNT by Akadaka?
No, I'm fine. People can have their opinions.
Fuck, he's spicy at the moment.
I don't
Donnie,
give a shit.
are you very aware of AC/DC?
I'm not
Yes,
Angus Young.
There's several songs I like. They're not one of those ones that I actively go searching to try to listen to their music. I don't mind them. I know that several of the Aussies that I know here in town, when Akadaka came here, like absolutely lost their shit over it. But I mean, they have some good songs. There's some stuff that I like, but like I said, I'm not actively looking for their music, if I'm being honest with you.
TNT, I only have an association with because I believe it was in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4.
Yeah, and
that's
it
the
was
only reason I know it.
And the good thing about that game is you could go into the song list and you could actually untick a few songs. So thanks, Tony Hawk. Now, before we get into the top 10 songs from the Falcon 50, we do have a few comments. So when we put this Google form out, again, I just want to thank everyone who did vote. People were allowed to leave some comments in there. So first up, we have, and look, no, we have no names attached to this because you could vote anonymously, so people wouldn't have the shame of knowing that they voted for their own club at number one, Christopher. First comment is, Stand Tough by Point Break was sick in the 2000 AFL season. Tame Impala Free song needs a Spotify release. Channel 7, when they had metal/hardcore songs playing during quarter breaks to hype up the quarter, was sick. There should be more metal/hardcore in footy. I don't know who wrote that, but I completely agree. I would love to hear, like, Blinding Faith by Knocked Loose after a goal or something like that. Just, like, get a little bit of energy going. More metal in for
Wasn't there a thing at the start of this season where Fox Footy got their theme redone by Parkway Drive?
Just saying, Chris, we're not up to the top 10 just yet.
Okay, sorry. Spoiler.
Well,
I forgive you.
sorry.
Not
you
exactly
zoned out
anymore.
You Freed from Desire and you saw the Western Bulldogs theme song. Fuck it. Like, I'm done. I'm good.
This is it. I'm super there for more metal in footy.
Which is
my
really
pick.
Which is really, really funny because didn't somebody in the footy media literally put out that they were sick and tired of them playing songs after goals? Like I know it is.
Chris Scott said it in his press conference.
Exactly.
What a loser.
And I know. I'll say this: that several of my Swans mates that are at the ground at the SCG actively complain about that, and I get it. Because of you want the atmosphere. Some people want the atmosphere, everything like that. But if you get a game where there isn't a lot of people there, probably not a bad thing to have the song instead of pure silence.
Those guys aren't ready to attend an NBA or NBL game.
I think it's also when the crowd participation and the song volume don't click.
Yep.
So when the crowd is cheering and the song is playing, it clashes, it doesn't work. However,
Exactly.
when you have that synergy of something like Country Roads, where the crowd doesn't cheer, they sing, or with Hey Baby and stuff like that, I think that's genuinely something special. That is really cool to see. I like that kind of camaraderie that the team can have. There is nothing cooler. I mean, there's a lot of things cooler because I don't go for Brisbane. But when Charlie Cameron kicks a goal and it goes back to the middle to bounce it and they're still singing. There was, I think it was a game earlier this year where they were still singing that song and he kicked another goal. Like, I just think it gives him superpower. So I agree it doesn't work all the time. But when it does, I think it's kind of magic. I think it is a really cool part of our game. So I'm hoping it continues. A few more comments from our friend Anna B. It's the Draw is the greatest song to ever sung. There is no denying that. We're missing Leaders by Luke McFarlane. Luke McFarlane, didn't know you had a song. Didn't know it was called Leaders. Good luck to you, buddy. A few people correcting me saying it's Friday Night Footy. Yeah, all right, Shannon Knoll, didn't know you were going to vote. I would vote for the Pies song 10 times if I could. Cheers. Okay, that is Deranged. Speaking of Deranged, somebody wrote Calm the Tigers. No VFA by Tism or Footy by Spiderbait, as we mentioned, would have been my number 1 and 2. Hey Baby by DJ Otzel, and the tune they play between quarters. Now, I was wondering what they meant by tune between quarters, and then I found out that was actually my girlfriend who voted, and she said, no, the Fox Footy theme song, and that's what she meant there, so she was hoping that would be in there.
I thought I saw someone mentioning the Fox Lab theme was pretty good. They have like a little like techno beat in the background when they're doing...
Okay, that beat goes really hard. I was also going to put that mind-numbing KO halftime music in there, but I just couldn't bring myself to, because it makes me genuinely angry. And the last comment we have is, I remember getting the Out of Bounds CD in the bargain bin at JB for $1 or $2. Didn't even come in a hard case. Just the thick plastic sleeve that smelt like sweet, toxic fumes. Don't know if I loved it because it was a banger, or if I was just a kid high on huffing plastic. Either way, thank you very much. I think that's as good a review as you can get for that song. But guys,
Hell
we're
yeah.
up to the pointy end of things. We're to our top 10. Number 10 with 46 votes. We have More Than a Game by Chris Doheny? I don't know. By Chris. He was the former lead singer of the band Geisha, who was a Melbourne pop rock band. This was the intro song for the Footy show. I think we all can remember that. Now, lots of controversy around the song, from unlicensed use lawsuits, Tim Costello and Eddie Maguire having a tiff over the use of the term "more than game" in politics. This is also this song. When I read about the controversies, I thought, I won't cut in clips of these songs into this podcast because we're going to get sued by the lead singer of Geisha and Eddie Maguire. So I thought we better not. Guys, what do we think of this? Do we all know this song? Do we all remember the old Footy show song?
Should have been number one.
Ooh. It is iconic. Like, you hear it. Like, when you read the name, you hear it. At least the chorus.
It's really poisoned for me because of the negative connotations of the Footy show.
Because of the racism.
Yeah, and the sexism.
Yeah, a lot of
And the
isms in that
rampant
show.
misogyny. Yeah.
I
But
kind of
it's
agree.
Fantastic.
It is a bit of a banger. Donnie, I mean, like you said, you only kind of gone to like Footy more like sort of not recently, but like in the last like decade or so. So Footy show wouldn't have been a thing you were already across, right?
Actually, towards the end, and it might have been towards the later part of the Footy show's run. I kept on it. I know sometimes YouTube would actually, there'd be people that would put the entire Footy show on, and I'd watch it. It was entertaining. There were a few parts that I would prefer to have never seen. There are a few things.
Not our greatest export, that show.
Well, let's just safe to say I won't go into it, but there was a member that was on that show that personally, he could be relieved of his life, and I would not bear a single tear for that particular person. I won't go into names.
I'll say it. I mean, Donnie, this is going to be on your YouTube channel. Do you mind if we use a certain C word to describe somebody?
Go ahead, please.
Cool, Sam Newman,
Rip
you're
away.
a cunt. Anyway, sorry, go on.
That's probably the lightest thing I could call him when it comes to it. It's just safe to say he's not my favorite person. Whenever I hear him interviewed, I will fast forward through the interview because the more he talks, the dumber everyone gets. So we'll go with that. No, I liked the Footy show. I thought there were some fun things about it. I think I saw the transition from James Brayshaw back to Eddie Maguire or whatever, and I know Damo was on it, and Billy Brownless was on it. Not entertaining show. Whether it was the banger of a song that I think that many Australians, when it come to the song, I wouldn't go that far, but it was entertaining. I know the theme more than a game, so I know a little bit more than what some people would think. So
the way it's burnt into my head though is, when you're a teenager, you get like really tired sometimes. Always on the Thursday night, I'm just like, I'm done. Like 9 o'clock, I need to sleep. So if I was up at like 9:30 when the Footy show started and that song's playing, I'm like, done well, Jesse. Will you be up until they talk about Essendon? Probably not. But the song, along with Trevor Marmalade, are probably the only two good things about that show when you look back at it. So Chris Doheny, I'm not pronouncing that right, from Geisha. Well done. You're at number 10. But let's move on. There's some drama in it now. It's kind of the start of Terminator.
Sounds like we're on an episode of Law and Order SVU.
Oh, well.
And with
All right.
SVU.
At number 9, we have Shut Up, The Footy's on the Radio by TISM with 48 votes. TISM, which stands for This Is Serious Mum, the band from Melbourne, a masked band from Melbourne, who has a lot of like very out there, very eclectic music. It's quite fun. They actually won a competition to have this song become the lead-in song for Triple M's Footy coverage. They do have a bunch of football-related songs, like Winmar to Lock It, or one of the greatest names for a song I've ever heard. I rooted a girl who rooted a guy who rooted a girl who rooted a guy who rooted a girl who rooted Shane Crawford. So I'm surprised. I probably should have had that one in the top 50 as well. Okay, I don't know if you guys know the band TISM that well, but I think you would know at least that refrain of "Shut Up, the Footy's on the Radio" from Triple M. What are your thoughts connected to that one?
I love TISM because they are just a band that exists in a niche that is only for them. Specifically as well, I know the song. I remember my dad had the CD single for the song "What Are Ya," which is just, what are you? You're a wanker. And then there's one of the things, who do you think you are? Or, sorry, it's, who do you want to be, James Hird or James Joyce? And
Okay.
they loved footy.
Oh, boy.
And yeah, I respect them. Top 10.
Yeah, I'm glad it's in the top 10 as
They
well.
love footy.
Yeah, it's.
Chris, any thoughts on this one?
I mean, it's still iconic. Still used on Triple M now. Like, I don't know if the song really is, but that "Shut up, the footy's on the radio." They use that after every break when you're listening to the footy, so it's iconic.
I actually didn't know it was a full song.
Neither did I.
Until I did this. I thought they just got somebody to do that little refrain. It did fascinate me that there was a competition.
Yeah,
And it just did so well that they actually re-recorded a few times. And apparently there's a bunch of different remixes around as well. But yes, Tism with "Shut Up at the Footy's on the Radio" at number 9. But now we're getting into the spiciest end. These little clips would hit so much harder if they came in right on time. Like, you know, like you listen to the Footy with Broden Kelly and like he says, "Tom, hit the sting," and it just plays.
Yeah, but he does it in post.
That's no. That's they want you to believe. That's the Footy with Broden money. Okay.
Yeah.
We don't have that. Like and subscribe. At number 8, with 49 votes, we have "That's the Thing About Football" by Greg Champion. Of course, it's going to be top 10.
it's a good song.
This song was featured for almost a decade on Channel 7's network coverage of the footy. It's co-written by Mike Brady, and I know we don't have any Paul Kelly songs, but he did help co-write this one. And has been performed twice at the grand final in 1995 and again in 2002. Super iconic song. Chris, what do you think of this one?
It's a good song. I wish I'd gone through the list a bit more detail when I was voting.
No. Hey, Chris, you don't worry about it. You don't need to put effort into this episode. That's fine.
No, when I was voting, I wish I'd gone through it in more detail because some of these songs, I read the title, I was like, I don't know what that is, and then just skipped over it. But I know what they are, and they're iconic, and I wish I'd voted for them.
The funny thing is that, like, kayfabe off for a second, is that Jesse specifically said, "Hey, could you guys just have a look at the playlist and just listen to a few
I
of them?"
did.
Just
I
so-
voted.
I asked you, I'm going to peel back the curtain here. I asked you guys to help. Like, can you guys help me come up with like 50 songs, just anything? And I've had now Chris say, I didn't really look at the list, and Clarky, while I'm putting the 50 together, ordered me for not having Paul Kelly in there while I was making the list. So I was like, well, I could still put him in there, and then he didn't fit, to be honest. In the end, this is what
Did he make it in or not?
No,
But
he didn't.
in answer-
I forgot to put him in the top 50.
In answer to your question, good song. I wish I voted for it.
Great. It's just wholesome, right? It's wholesome football song, iconic. 10 out of 10, no notes.
Donnie, are you aware of That's the Thing About Football?
Yep. Again, it's one of those. I actually after I had reached out to you, Jesse, about hopping on. That was I put it on mine, and I just kept getting people going, "You got to listen to this!" And it's another one of those that it's so iconic that almost every footy fan knows it. So yeah,
I will give full credit. Thank you for retweeting the post about it, and all the people who commented like to your retweet about it. Your listeners and viewers, they know their shit because they were on the ball with some of their suggestions. And again, some of the suggestions should have made it in, but I did see a lot of people say that thing football because it is such an iconic song. But speaking of iconic, Christopher Lowry, hold on to your butt, because with 50% of the vote, with 50 votes at number 7, we have the Giants Club song, the big sound at number 7. The Giants team song was written by Harry James Angus from the band The Cat Empire. Harry was invited to sit with the players by Kevin Sheedy, the then coach, to collaborate on lyrics, which is where the "Never Surrender" line came from. Notable thing about the song is Chris fucking hates it.
I mean, just like every other Cat Empire song, it's mid.
I mean, yeah, I agree with that part.
There you go.
I'm not a big Cat Empire fan myself, but this song is great.
It's not. It's mid. It's a mid-table song.
It's not mid. It's 8th, and the doggy song, despite you trying to mess with the vote by voting for it, it is now statistically better than your club song.
Shit song.
Shut up, Chris. This song's great. I think it's the thing about it is that it's infinitely singable. Like, even if you're a neutral supporter and you're at the game, you know the words and the oompa energy that goes into it. It's really it's a great song to sing after a win. Like, it's a excellent victory lap.
My partner Sophie, she watches a fair bit of football, but she knows the song so well now that I can hum the first note and she'll start and we will do the whole song, and I'm just doing like the mouth saxophone and stuff like that. The neighbors don't know what the fuck's going on. They're just like, they're like, hey, these two are clearly very talented and like good song, good music. It is so fun. It is energetic. It is what a club song should be. I mean, the fact that we've spoken about the Doggies GWS rivalry so much, the fact that it angers Chris so much shows that it is good because it's making their rivals mad.
It doesn't make me mad because I hear it. It makes me mad that everyone says how good it is. It sounds like the national anthem to an Eastern European country.
Chris, you've been to Eastern Europe,
Yeah,
okay?
wasn't a fan.
They won't let you back in. Take that. I can't remember which country you went to. Donnie, do you agree? I would say this is the highest rated club song we have. Donnie, do you think this is the greatest AFL club song there is?
A little bit of fun context here is the fact that my producer who started the show, Fourth and Long, which is the origins of the YouTube channel, which is now transitioned to Donnie's Disposals, is a Giants supporter. So let's just safe to say, whenever the Giants beat the Swans, I am inundated with this song. So it has some fun context for me. I think it's a good song. I think I totally get why people that detest the Giants or the Giants have been a thorn in their side would not like the song. I think the song is pretty good. I think it's very catchy. It's hard not to hum along to it. Like, I agree with you, Jesse. Like, it's one of those, it's like I hear it and I'm like, I can't not hum along to it. Even when even when I'm mad because the Swans have lost to the Giants, I catch myself so it's, I don't know if it's the greatest club song, but it's definitely the one that it's an earworm and you just can't not
100%.
go with it. So
Yeah, for sure.
Well, let's move along. I think we've upset Chris enough.
sorry, Chris.
Number 6, we have One Day in September by Mike Brady with 51 votes. If you're counting along, between nine, the Tism song at number 9 had 48 votes. Greg Champion had 49 votes. The Giant Club song had 50 votes, and One Day in September had 51. It was a close vote. Chris, maybe you should have paid more attention. Now, One Day in September was written back in 1980, specifically to celebrate the AFL Grand Final, though I guess that's back when it was the VFL. It was renamed for the 2015 AFL Grand Final to One Day in October, because the game was pushed back to the first weekend of October. This is a song that is just so linked to the grand final. So I clearly don't have that much connection to it. But you guys have all won flags in the last decade. What do you think of One Day in September by Mike Brady?
Great song. It's good that Mike Brady has something to do every year that he can pencil.
Oh yeah, this is his meal ticket.
It's I was just thinking actually while you were saying, I'm like, did he have to do it? Well, actually, 2 days in September, or for the grand final replay, the St Kilda Collingwood one. Did they make him perform it?
2 steak dinners that week. Like he got paid twice.
I think this song is it's iconic AFL. It's whether you like it or you don't like it or you feel like maybe. I do know some people who think it's a little bit old in its tradition, but it's one of those ones. It's it feels familiar. It gives Australia
Comforting.
Yeah.
Look, it is probably like proper, like put your arm around someone and sway back and forth. Again, you're hammered drunk at this point because it's the grand final.
Hammered.
But it has that vibe to it. There are some pub drunk songs that have a wholesome value to them. I think this is one of them.
Look, I'm just going to say it. I don't really like it, and I don't really like Mike Brady.
Whoa.
Okay. Okay, buddy. You're taking the Giants thing real hard.
That's as blunt as a bat to the face. Jeez.
I don't really know why I don't like Mike Brady, but I don't know. I just get him off my screen. He's had his time. He doesn't need to be invited back.
Okay. All right.
Genuinely don't know what to say. Hey, everyone, come for Chris in the comments. I mean,
yeah, get him. We can't. We've protected you as much as we can.
At Larry_16.
I will admit I was more upset about you talking shit about the GWS song. However, I feel like as football community at large, we mad at the Mike Brady slander. Oh fuck, that kind of threw me. Okay, cool. Let's move into our top 5 songs in the Falcon 50 hottest AFL song. Number 5 is a song that has me very excited. Again, this is only one more vote. It had 52 votes. It's a crazy run here. Shipping Off to Boston by Dropkick Murphys. At number 5, I'm stoked about this one.
I don't know this song.
Now, oh, Chris, you stupid bitch. Now, the original version of the song was released in 2004 on Give 'Em the Boot number 4 and was re-recorded for their 2005 album, The Warriors Code. It is a song commonly used during sporting events, usually for like Bostonian teams, but it made the rounds back in 2009 in some kick-ass AFL ads and has been linked to the game ever since. I just like the Dropkick Murphys. I think they're a fantastic band. They're doing a lot of really good stuff at the moment. Chris, I'm kind of shocked you haven't heard this. Donnie and
Chris
Clark, I'm
knows
assuming
this
you guys
song.
know this song.
Oh wait, I just realized the movie where Chris might have seen it and he might not have
Is
seen.
Chris, have you seen The Departed?
I have.
Do you remember the only good part of The Departed?
The ending?
The song that plays?
The ending.
Anyway,
The ending is
Yeah.
how this
Oh my
podcast
God.
is going to end, Chris.
Maybe I have heard it and I just can't remember it.
yeah,
Dan,
I definitely
Oh, it's that song. Oh, that's a sick song.
go. Fucking Christ!
It's a great song. I wish I voted for it.
My God.
Hey, Chris, you should listen to the podcast,
Jesus.
like and subscribe.
At a
I'm glad
Footy
this is caught on
podcast,
video as
Oh
well.
my god.
You fool.
That's a
okay,
great song.
I don't particularly love this song too much, but it is an excellent hype up song.
Why can't we all just get along?
No, I don't have a problem with where it is. I think it's an excellent
God.
example of a hype up sporting song. It's just, I think it was overplayed in my mind because I've heard it a lot at different sporting codes, but it's the perfect song designed for that. Like I definitely think it's earned its position in top 5.
Top of the top sale, this one.
Should have been number 1.
Donnie, what are your thoughts on this one?
Very iconic. Hear it all the time with all of the Bostonian teams whenever they're doing well. You hear it all the time. I always liked Dropkick Murphys. I always thought they were a little bit different, and sometimes those are some of my favorite bands. Are the ones that are just a little bit off, a little bit different. So I liked it. I don't know if I would fully connect it to Footy personally. I did. I think I know what you're reading. I think I saw the advert that had it in, but I was like, it sounds really wild. Like shipping up to Boston. It's like, that's a long way to ship up to Boston from Australia. So
We're going to ship
has
Sam
a bit
Newman
of
over there.
I was about to say it's got a better ring to it than I'm shipping up to Warrnambool.
Yes. All right, let's keep this one going. Number 4. Speaking of unique bands, at 53 votes. Yes, that's just another vote on top of this. Chris, again, you could have changed the whole dynamic of this countdown. At number 4, we have Anthony McDonald, Tip and Woody by Picket Palace. I'm stoked about this being at number 4. Picket Palace, the band from Brunswick, dropped a banging tribute to Tipper back in 2019. The band's singer Jack O'Connell said he wanted the song to be as energetic and exciting as Tipper himself. He said, "That's what we love about Waller, how exhilarating and electrifying his footy is. He seems like an incredibly humble and unassuming person, but he plays with such ferocity and tenacity that you can't help but get excited anytime he appears on screen. That's how we wanted the song to feel." The song was part of the band's album, The Footy Record, which had a bunch of footy-related songs, believe it or not. Guys, Anthony McDonald, Tip and Woody, what a song. Could it get any better? Clarky, I know you're a big fan of this song.
If you're like, oh, it's not my type of music, or it's a bit rough around the edges, it's a bit grungy, it's a bit punky, you just got to listen to it long enough to get to the he runs and 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 he runs. It's so good. Like it's so good.
I've never seen a song line up better with highlights off that player.
Yep.
Because it does contain, it has that like manic energy of Tipper when he could run. It had that energy to him. Like I felt like I could chase down and tackle somebody. I definitely can't, but it just has that hype up energy to it.
Have you ever seen the video where Picket Palace performed and Tippett is actually there watching it, and like you could just see the grin on his face as
He's stoked.
they get to that part where he's like, and he runs and he runs and he runs and he runs.
It's just
absolutely made me die
fun.
laughing the first time I saw it.
It has in the song itself, like I think Picket Palace is a really fun band. They have this like real like youthful exuberance to them that I think reflects modern day football really well, because it is such a positive, it is a celebration of football, of a real like cult character in football. I loved it. It just luckily it happened to be about one of my favorite players. But even if it was about a different club, like this is just a good song that everyone can get it behind. No doubt Chris hates it.
I'm gonna be honest, I've never listened to it.
Oh,
I've had plenty of had plenty
my
of chance to. And I remember when it was really popular and everyone was posting about it, but I just never listened to it. I'm sorry.
Chris, I'm going to say probably your best chance to listen to it was probably this week when I put together a playlist and said, hey, Chris, make sure you listen to all these songs. We're going to discuss them. That probably would have been the best time to have done it. I'm
This
also
great
glad
countdown
that
has
your
been overshadowed.
portrayals are in audio and video now.
I think Anthony McDonald to Woody as well is the one thing that I love the most about this song is that he is a player that is universally loved. I have never heard a single
Chris has
person.
never heard of him.
I know him, and he's just universally beloved, and I hope that he is out there living his best life in football heaven.
He's alive still.
Yeah, but he's retired. Football heaven is where retired players go. Only the good ones, though.
The good ones. On to number 3.
Cut that.
Number 3 to get Chris's blood pumping again with 69 votes. We have Up There Kazali by Mike Brady. Mike Brady makes the charts again. This song was written back in 1979 to promote Channel 7's VFL coverage. Now I've got a quiz. With this
This
one.
is a surprise quiz.
Now, it's a surprise quiz. You didn't think I could sneak a quiz into this one, but I sure did. Now, the song's hook refers to Roy Kazali, a ruckman for which club? Anyone?
Fitzroy.
No.
Carlton?
Nope. Lucky?
Geelong?
No, you're all wrong. It was South Melbourne at the time. He also did play for the Saints. But I do have a follow-up question as well. So the song became the highest-selling Australian single ever with 260,000 copies sold by the end of 1980. It held that record until which song overtook it?
In which year, sorry?
Do you think if I say the year you'll get it? Lucky? Like,
Yeah,
genuinely?
maybe.
It was 1981.
Okay. Let's say Free From Desire.
Fuck you. The Western Bulldogs Classic.
I'm going to say Heart of Glass by Blondie.
No.
No, I was close.
I'm gonna pass because I'm gonna pass because it was before my time. So
And
Yeah.
I mean, it's before all of our time, to be fair. I mean, Chris is a bit of an edge case, to be honest. No, this is Joe Dolce's Shut Up in Your Face.
Hey, good song.
Hey, Chris, what's the matter you, buddy?
He should have been on the list.
See?
Chris
You
knows
do
that
know
song.
some music.
Yeah, he does know. He's cultured.
Up there, Kazali. Look, I will say, I think the lesser of the Mike Brady song. I don't love Up There Kazali as much as 1 Day in September, because I feel like you hear 1 Day in September really on Grand Final Day. Up There Kazali, I feel like you hear a fair bit throughout the year at different times. I'm like, whatever. What do you think of the Mike Brady classic?
I still don't like Mike Brady.
Yeah, your opinion
Good
hasn't changed a lot.
No.
Okay, that's cool.
Good update,
Cool,
Chris.
Good to
Thanks for that
know.
one. Yeah, I didn't know Kazali was a player for the longest time, but I loved singing this song, and I still love singing this song. But I agree with you; it is the lesser of the two Mike Brady songs.
When I was young and I heard it for the first time, and by young I mean not that long ago, I didn't know the lyrics. So where he says get in there and fight, or like whatever the next line is, I thought he said Enright and was referring to Corey Enright. I'm like, when was this written? Like, is this about Roy Kazali and Corey Enright? I don't know. I'm dumb, so it could definitely be that.
I always loved as well that the song starts out by going like, you can do whatever you want on the weekend, but I like football.
Fuck you,
Nerd.
I like football. How's the weekend? Good. Well, I like football. I'm Mike Brady, and I'm
thanks.
better than you, Chris Lowry.
Yeah.
All
Thanks,
right,
Mike.
let's move on. We have we're up to the top two here. Do we have any guesses what number 2 could be?
I
know
I'm
one.
not gonna say it out
one
loud.
because Chris spoiled it earlier, but I'm trying to figure out which one, whether it's 1 or 2.
Did I?
Well, let's find out. Well, let's find out if Chris did ruin everything. I mean, he often does. Number 2, we have with 71 votes. Again, just 2 more votes from number 3. We have Parkway Drive's rendition of the
Oh.
Fox Footy theme song.
I
Released
couldn't
earlier this
tee that
year
up
and
any
debuting-
better.
And debuting at AFL 360. This is just one of many Fox Footy theme songs mixes that have been put out. We mentioned the Tom version earlier, but there's also a really good version done by the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra. It's pretty cool.
Mhm.
All I'm going to say is get Parkway to play the grand final. That'll be sick. I mean, Parkway Drive, no offense to them, they can't do dad rock nowadays, so it would work. But I would like to see Parkway Drive play on that one day in September playing fucking Carrion. It'll be
I
sick.
was about to say Carrion.
Carrion's a banger.
That's the one
That
to play
came
at
in
the
like
grand final.
120 when they ended up doing the hottest 200. Australia, you got that all wrong.
What
do we think? It's kind of cool. You hear it a fair bit in the Fox Footy coverage. It plays during the ads.
Do we think this is a product of recency bias?
Nah.
No, it's just fucking cool.
Yeah, it's just
man.
cool.
It's definitely one of those, like, I liked the theme. The theme is very iconic. It's a lot like, especially I'll go Americans up here, like the Monday Night Football stuff and things like that. Like it has its sound that you just instantly like, ooh, I know exactly what that is. And then the Parkway Drive one, when it premiered, I was kind of like, normally I don't like listening to something so short, but I was like, the little video that is on YouTube, I was like, I kept playing it because it's so cool.
It's sick.
And you get the little growl by the lead singer, come on, to start it. And it's really, though there's no words in it, it really is kind of cool the way it is. So yeah, I can't tell you how many times on Friday mornings on my way to work, I know that the footy is getting ready for the weekend, and I'm literally jamming out the Parkway Drive on my short 8-minute drive to work. So
I'm so glad I'm on a football podcast that we could talk about Winston McCall's vocals. This is just like a real like full circle moment for me. This is cool. I believe the NRL have their like a version of this with another like metal Australian band. I don't know who it is, like Thornhill or something. I don't know, but they have a band do that. But I think the AFL kind of just try to one up them and went with Parkway, which is kind of Australia's biggest metal act. Clarky, do you think they'll be pulling out the Fox Footy theme song when they play that weird cruise liner show that they're doing? They're playing on a boat, man. It's
The Parkway Cruise.
Parkway
yeah.
Drive cruise. They're also doing Park Waves, which is a festival. I've seen Parkway Drive live like 7 times now.
Surely
I want
it
that
makes
8th
the
time
set
they need to
list.
play this.
Yeah, surely it makes the set list, even like an in between, like a mid song transition.
It'd be great. It would be a great mid-song transition between all their new mid-songs. Anyway, that's my spicy hot take. But let's move on to the number 1 spot on the Falcons' hottest 50 AFL song. Thanks, Cassie. At number 1, with 128 votes, almost double second place, we have this one. Holy Grail by Hunters and Collectors. Of course it was going to be number 1.
This is the
This
best
song was
footy
originally
song.
released on the band's 1992 album Cut. The song was inspired by Jeanette Winterson's novel The Passion, which was about Napoleon's army marching through the freezing cold in Russia, a feat that lead singer Mark Seymour said reflected the difficulties the band had in recording the album. I don't know what the fuck happened when they were recording that album, but apparently it was hard as marching an army through Russia. This is a great song, and I think one of the greatest things about it is it's not necessarily about football. I think everyone refers to the Holy Grail as the Premiership Cup. But because it's not about football, it is allowed to be a song, if that makes any sense. Like, it is not constrained by kind of by AFL itself. It can branch out, and it's just a good song on its own, but it's been associated with football so well. What do you guys think of the Holy Grail by Hunters and Collectors, our number 1?
This is absolutely the correct choice, and the viewers got it right. Thank you so much to everyone who voted. You did good. To your point, Jesse, do you think it would be considered a football song if Channel 10 didn't use it as their iconic "the football's about to start" theme song? Like, I think they really, it's become contextualized through, arguably for some people, Channel 10 had the greatest quality broadcasts era
Mate.
of the AFL.
Saturday afternoon football into before the game, into the next game was peak, absolute peak. And then they
like
had
you said,
Sports Tonight. Oh, mate, living.
And like you said, it transitions as well. Like, it's just a song that can come on your playlist, and you're like, yeah. Like, I know this one. I can sing along. I know this isn't. It's for all weather, all purpose.
Chris, you could go either way on this one. I know. I just know your
No.
heart.
Did you even listen to it?
Do you know this band?
I will preface this by saying it's the correct choice. It should be number 1. It's absolutely the correct choice. I don't like the song.
Oh my god, Chris. Can you just name a song you like? Just look, for scientific purposes, just name a song. It doesn't have to be football related. Just name a song you like.
Hang on, I will explain.
Don't say Free From Desire. I swear I'll slap you.
I don't like this song purely because I've played in cover bands for the last 15 years and I've played the song hundreds of times and I'm sick of it. I hate it. I'm over it. It's the same with every Bon Jovi song. I'm over them. I hate them. Same with fucking Jesse's Girl and Summer
I don't know, man.
69.
Sounds
I
like
can't
you hate
hand
being
them.
a drummer.
what if it's Sophie?
I can't stand them. I don't like this song because I've played it so many times, but it is 100% the correct choice.
Sounds like Chris hates being in a band.
I've been in the band with Chris. Yeah. Donnie, what are your thoughts on our number one?
This is one of the few in the group that I was not one I was super familiar with. Again, I think the fact that it was Channel 10 is probably the part that doesn't help me out, is I don't get a lot of that stuff over here. Channel 7, Channel 9 is usually the stuff that, if it is put on YouTube, that's usually the stuff that gets put on there. So it wasn't one of those that I knew super well. Listened to it. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say it knocked me off my socks, but I mean, I'm not going to, it's something that has a connection with Ozzy, so can't really fight it. So
Yeah,
can't
I will always
fight
connect
it.
it with like Saturday afternoon football. This is back when, this is like pre-Asada, so I really liked football. Even though we hadn't won for a while, I'm like, oh, there's still hope. I mean, we're playing better for some reason at the moment. I don't know what's happening. Players have a real pep in their step. I just associate with like Saturday afternoon watching football, and they're my favorite kind of footy watching memories. So I will always have a bit of a place in my heart with this for this song. I agree. I think people got it right, and it was a dominant winner. So just to recap the one, Holy Grail by Hunters and Collectors is our number one. But guys, we're at the end of a podcast. A hell of a podcast. That's our longest episode, I think.
This is, new record.
So we should wrap this one up, I reckon. So if you want to follow and listen to more of our nonsense and bullshit, we're on Spotify, iTunes, and all good, and even some bad podcasting platforms. Just search for us with the Falcon, a Footy podcast. We new episode, blah, 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 blah. Good, look, I've been speaking for 2 hours now. I can have one mistake. You can find us on all your podcast platforms.
Is the
We have new episodes coming every Tuesday. Usually. This one could be late because it's a pretty long recording, this one. Who knows? But yes, make sure you follow us there. Donnie, I know you have some stuff to plug. The floor is yours.
I don't have to plug, but I will.
Plug away.
So for those of you that are listening on it that didn't catch it the first time, anything when it comes to me on socials, it's at Coach Has 40 are my socials. It's easy way to interact with me on that. The podcast is the Donnie's Disposals YouTube channel, also on all of those lovely podcast forums and all of that, especially when my producer remembers to put them up there. That's really about it. So
and make sure you're following Donnie on YouTube, because you can watch this episode on YouTube, which is a weird thing for me to say because this is on YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube already, you're already watching it. So make sure you hit that like, subscribe button. I don't know where it is in relation to me.
The bell?
But if you're listening to this,
down.
click that bell. But if you're listening to this, let's face it, YouTube's on the same thing that you listen to fucking podcast on. So make sure you go on YouTube, give Donnie a follow, look at our beautiful faces. But you can also follow us all individually on social media. I'm at Jesse Spanner. Clarky, where are you?
You can find me at Quantum JC or over at Footy Mailbag.
And Chris, where can people direct their complaints?
At Lowry_16.
And Don, you want to plug the socials again?
at Coach Has 40 on almost all of the socials.
Beautiful. Yes, want to thank everyone again for all the help we had with this episode. It was something a little bit different, a little bit fun. I hope you all enjoyed it. Again, big thanks for everyone who voted. Good work to all the bands involved, I guess, except for some who didn't poll very well. But anyway, we'll catch you next time. Bye.
See ya.
Love you.
So